That's nearly $500,000 of gains. In this video, guys, we're going to be going through the ins and outs of Bitcoin to ultimately help us decide whether this is a good investment for us or not. If you're new to the channel, guys, my name is Jag. I post all kinds of videos on the stock market and investing. If you wanted to learn more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button while you're at it, because it does really help on the channel. Also, I'm not a financial advisor, so nothing in this video is actually financial advice. Anyway, let's get straight into the video. Warren Buffett, Bill Ackman, and frankly, any massive investor will tell you don't invest in things you don't understand. So let's actually make an effort to understand what Bitcoin is and this whole world of cryptocurrencies. So what is Bitcoin? What is Bitcoin in plain English? Bitcoin is essentially a decentralized digital currency. The way the current banking system works, in a nutshell, is that the central government prints out money and ultimately controls the money supply. Banks store money, and you can use them to transfer the money you have to other people by means of purchasing or actually just transferring it to the individual person's account. Ultimately, there is a central authority which controls this whole process, and to make sure everything's in line and everything is going smoothly as possible, right? Now, Bitcoin is sort of like the opposite of this. Instead of the bank or the government being a central authority which controls everything, control and authority is essentially crowdsourced. It uses a technology called blockchain. Guys, think of this like an open book, an open ledger. Every time an exchange of value takes place, anytime somebody transfers some money, it's being recorded on an open book where everybody can see it. Everybody is aware of everybody else's transfers. Now, in a normal case, a bank or a payment processor actually verifies the transfer is being taken place from one person to another person. Now, how is it done with Bitcoin is that during the transaction process, there's a puzzle that needs to be completed. Once that puzzle is complete, then the Bitcoin can be transferred. Now, this puzzle is essentially an algorithm that Bitcoin miners run in their computers. But essentially, this whole transaction process allows Bitcoin to be transferred from one party to another party. Now, you might be thinking, open ledger, right? How is Bitcoin anonymous if everybody knows of each other's transactions? Well, everybody's name is not actually on the ledger. It's their Bitcoin wallet address. It's not completely anonymous, guys. If I can pinpoint that wallet 01 is linked to Bob Smith, then I know of Bob Smith's transactions. And I can pretty much see all of the activity that has gone on with Bob Smith on Bitcoin blockchain. This is called being pseudo-anonymous. But that being said, guys, there are things people have done to actually disguise their transactions and effectively become anonymous. Now, why Bitcoin? Apart from anonymity, there are other features and benefits you get with Bitcoin that are not available in normal pounds and pence. For a start, there is user autonomy. If you put your money into a bank account, the bank ultimately controls your money. If it deems that, hey, you're not following the terms of service, it can close your account. And ultimately, a higher power than the bank is the central government or the central bank. You can also take control of your money and your currency whenever it wants. I'm sure there needs to be a good reason for it, but it sure can be done. By Bitcoin flipping the idea of a central kind of focus to a peer-to-peer model, these things are sort of removed, which is why autonomy is actually very important to the Bitcoin community. Now, if you had bought 10 Bitcoin just 5 years ago at $420 each, today, that same investment is $500,000. That's nearly $500,000 of gains. What has fueled this value to be so high? Why is Bitcoin so high right now? Well, for a start, there's only a finite amount of Bitcoin. Unlike fiat currency which is backed by the government, so pounds, pence, dollars, this can be printed by central banks through as much as they like, right? Which causes inflation along with other things. But Bitcoin's money supply is actually limited. It's built into the Bitcoin code that there can only be 21 million Bitcoins in circulation. And we all know, guys, if there is a finite amount of something, then the price does seem to go up, if of course that thing is actually valuable or not. Now, we don't actually know how to determine the value of Bitcoin itself. It's not a company where we can look at the fundamentals and see how many assets they have and look at their performance and their balance sheet. It's just pretty much purely down to what people think Bitcoin should be going to be worth throughout time. Some people are saying that Bitcoin should be worth $100,000. Some people are saying it should be worth $500,000. And some people are saying the current value is inflated. Whatever the value is, it's good to know the limitations of Bitcoin compared to other cryptocurrencies. For a start, millions of transactions happen around the world. One thing that drives the economy is how fast these transactions actually happen. You go to a shop and you can pretty much tap your card if you have contactless, and within a matter of seconds, money is being cleared out of your account and you're good to go, really. However, when you send Bitcoin to someone, it takes around 10 minutes or the blockchain network to actually verify that the transaction has been taking place and the Bitcoin has been successfully transferred to the other person's wallet. Now imagine going to a shop and buying some milk and thinking, hey, this transaction is going to take 10 minutes long. Waiting at the till, yeah, the merchant can just take on the risk that, hey, yeah, this person's going to pay me, so he can just go, I'm sure I'm going to have the Bitcoin in 10 minutes, but the likelihood is going to be quite low that people are going to do that. So this will kind of limit the use case of Bitcoin in that sense. Another small drawback to Bitcoin when compared to other cryptocurrencies is the transaction fees during the rush hour periods. If, for example, Bitcoin is hugely popular and there's a huge amount of people doing transactions on the blockchain network, then the blockchain network itself is going to be quite congested. And people who believe their transaction is quite important will just bid up the fees so miners can actually prioritize them. These will inevitably increase the transaction fees, unlike fiat money where the transaction fee is significantly stable throughout time. And a lot of merchants think that, hey, what's good about Bitcoin is that there's no chargebacks. What happens is sometimes if you own a store, you might become a victim to chargebacks, whereby people buy the product that you have, then go to the bank and say, hey, we didn't buy this product, or, you know, this didn't come to us and we're just going to charge back. So they take your money and they take your product. And sometimes you're left with paying some fees for that as well. So with Bitcoin, theoretically, there's no chargeback because every transaction is confirmed. You cannot undo a transaction. So merchants are quite happy with this. But chargebacks actually are designed to protect us. Imagine you actually send Bitcoin to the wrong address. Well, that's gone. You can't get your money back. Or what if you lose your Bitcoin wallet password, which a lot of people have actually done? Well, good luck trying to remember it because that's gone as well. There's no central authority, right? And there's no place where you can go to actually reset your password in effect. So guys, I like to kind of understand the pros and cons of everything before I decide if this is a good investment for me. So these are the kind of things I'm thinking about. And there's also an argument to be made that Bitcoin is not actually a currency in a day-to-day, so to speak. It actually should be used for a store of value, like some sort of digital gold. And some investors do actually go buy this and have bought billions of dollars of Bitcoin. But some investors like Warren Buffett do believe that Bitcoin creates nothing, like a company or a farm would do, so it's not actually valuable at all. Guys, I read something the other day where Bill Gates actually said himself that if he was able to short against Bitcoin, so in other words, bet against Bitcoin in some way, he would do so. I myself am not a massive investor compared to these guys, right? But these things do worry me and pull me back from investing large sums in Bitcoin. At this point in time, Bitcoin is a speculative investment. So for me, that means just like Graham Stephan, I'm not going to be putting more than 1 or 2% of my entire portfolio's value into Bitcoin. We can agree that cryptocurrency creates a lot of value and opportunity for investors. There's actually other currencies and stocks we can buy to get a piece of that action, so to speak. So for example, there is a stock called Argo Blockchain. This company is a crypto mining company, so it profits on the transactions taking place by Bitcoin. In January 2021, guys, this company mined a total of 93 Bitcoin. Guys, this amounted to a revenue of £2.48 million for the month of January alone. Also, Bitcoin is not the only currency in this space. There's a lot of currencies that are popping up which hope to kind of serve a different use case and actually solve some of the limitations that are with Bitcoin itself. Cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Cardano. So if you want to invest in crypto, there's a lot of other options out there. I never want you to actually get pressured into investing something just because other people are. That's just FOMO. Try to always see the overall market picture and get a better understanding before you actually go in with an investment. You know, it's all good looking at the numbers. So even if you invested in Tesla 5 years ago, your returns would have been crazy. But hindsight is everything. So that's just something to consider. If you got money to invest, then check out my video on the top 7 ways you can invest your money. Or if you want to look at some exciting new growth companies, then make sure you check out my video of the top growth companies in 2021. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.